brand new $13 million or so a year contract, the highest paid head coach in college football. Did the expectations for Kirby Smart just get higher? Let's talk about that and a little bit more as we look forward to a season where the Dogs are the betting favorite to win the national championship this season in college football. Kirby Smart, obviously, there's not going to be a lot of people that can catch him in terms of the pay scale. I think that Dabo is. There's no way that Clemson's going to give him about a $2-3 million a year raise for what he's been accomplishing lately. You've got like Ryan Day; he's going to have to win national championships. So we're kind of the market has been set with Kirby um, as of this second at least. So what does that mean for him in terms of pressure? I don't think that the pressure sort of just went up. I think that as soon as Nick Saban retired, I mean, this has nothing to do with Jim Harbaugh. I mean, Jim Harbaugh, he he is his own thing. I wouldn't call that a flash in the pan by any stretch. I don't know if y'all recall this or not, but I mean, for the last year, certainly the last year, I was saying, well, the most consistent team besides Georgia has been Michigan, and they went and got their national championship, one that they've been a unanimous one. They haven't had that in I don't know, 60 years, something like that. So Michigan finally fulfilled its potential by winning the national championship. But all of that said, when you look at the landscape of things, you know, Georgia should win. And I talked about this yesterday. Georgia should win national championships. Michigan should win national championships. Ohio State, there are teams that should win national championships. And with the way things are right now in the SEC, right now at Georgia, Georgia should too. I mean, Georgia certainly should win national championships. That should happen, consistently. I was about to say all the time, but that doesn't happen. But they should consistently win national championships. I think, the new contract is just a acknowledgement of where things stand currently in the coaching market in college football. Kirby is certainly the best coach, program runner, whatever you want to call it. He brings the most value to the program that he leads. I mean, did Jimbo ever? I mean, like, it's so funny to see these colleges get in over their heads with these contracts. Did Georgia do that with Kirby? It doesn't look like it right now. That doesn't mean that won't be true in the future. Again, I go back to Clemson. Is Dabo currently worth what he's being paid by the institution? Probably not. But he was probably underpaid when he was winning it. So usually it all, massages itself out. Where it becomes weird or tricky or whatever, and this was never the case with Mark Richt, because Mark was never really overpaid, I wouldn't say. But is when, you're somebody like Dabo, and we've gone, last national championship at Clemson was in 18, not that long ago. And now, it's 24. I don't think Clemson's going to win the national championship in the next 4 years. And so then that's the value, the donut hole in the value of these coaches. You have to, it's real tricky for the ADs and the athletic departments, because by and large, no matter the head coach, they're overpaid. The compensation is not worth it. Now the market bears it, but the return on investment is usually really bad. I mean, think about it. When was the last good hire in college football? Not really. Steve Sarkisian was a pretty good hire. I mean, I think Dabo was a good hire. That was coming on 20 years ago. Certainly 15 years ago. Kirby was a good hire. Jimbo, utter failure. Billy, that's not working. Josh Heupel was a good hire at Tennessee. Josh Heupel was a good hire at Tennessee, for sure. Is Kalen DeBoer at Alabama? I don't know. He was a good hire at Washington. But if you just bide your time, more often than not, the coach that is at a particular school, they're going to fail. I mean, it's just what it is. I thought, just shifting focus for a second, I thought that Tom Crean was a good hire at Georgia. I think he was a good hire. I think he was a bad coach at Georgia. I don't know if you can, those are not the same thing. I think at that moment, he was a good hire. The guy signed Anthony Edwards. he just couldn't like do anything else, it seemed. So it's not about winning the beginning. It's about winning as much as you can every single day, which adds up to success over time. Was James Franklin a good hire at Penn State? Would it have been better to hire, Ryan Day? Well, I don't know that was, or better yet, Wisconsin's coach Luke Fickell. Would it have been better to hire Luke Fickell at Penn State? They'd have won more. In my view, they would have won more. I mean, Luke Fickell's been in the playoff with Cincinnati, so um, that's why you kind of you look around at in college football. You cannot you can, and I mean I think in a lot of business you can't. The market is a guide, but it is you can't be a slave to the market, so to speak. You can't. You have to do what's appropriate for you, and I mean I guess that's somewhat the way the market. I mean something, but the market in college football, I think it could be there could be a slowdown. Now, I think we've seen a slight slowdown. The top is never going to slow down of any industry, and college football is really not different. But in the near future, with compensation of athletes coming, there's going to have to be an adjustment along the way for everybody. I mean, when you start paying the players from the university, some of that money that is going to go to the players. And how much is Carson Beck worth? Is he worth more than Kirby Smart? Was Bill Belichick worth more than Tom Brady, or Tom Brady more than Belichick? Yeah, I don't know. But right now, with the current way it is, the University of Georgia's athletic department budget, the whole thing, not just football, is about $190 million. We don't know what it is yet. We'll know in a couple of weeks what it will be for the coming fiscal year, which starts in July. Kirby is getting paid $13 million. It's roughly 7 to 8% of all revenue from Georgia is what they're paying Kirby. I don't think that's a great deal. I don't think that's outlandish. I think it's about right. I don't think it's you know he is. I mean, clearly, there's only a couple athletic departments that have more revenue than Georgia: Ohio State, Texas. There's not a lot of them, so those coaches will get closer and closer to that number too. But I don't think that that's necessarily high or low. I mean, people talk about it's a bargain. I mean, in what measurement are you taking for paying someone $13 million and saying it's a bargain? Um, Not if they don't win national championships. It's not a bargain. Now let's just cut to the chase. I mean, Kirby Smart's getting paid this money to win national championships, period. And well, it probably should be comma and other stuff, but basically to win national championships. If it was to not win national championships, he could go back to getting paid $3 million, $3.75 million a year. The value is in the winning. The value is in the winning. It's not in um, you know, the other stuff. I mean, that every coach recruits, every coach coaches during games. He's getting paid to win, period. And that's all there is to it. And if you don't, they'll get rid of you. Jimbo, no sacred cow at A&M. They got rid of him. Total failure. Cal, Kentucky didn't get rid of Cal, but boy, it was about as close to that as possible. It's sort of like a wife trade or something like that with Arkansas and Kentucky. I mean, you're getting paid the big money to win. Is there more pressure? And so this is sort of a stupid comment, but I'm not sure that the payment of money equals more pressure. I think the pressure was there to beat Nick. You did that, and he won a national championship. Well, now Nick's gone. The pressure was there to win national championships after narrowly losing one in 17. Well, they did that twice. Now what will the pressure be? To me, now, you know, this is the wrong way to put it, but he's basically chasing ghosts at this time. How high on the totem pole can Kirby Smart go in college football history? Can he be number one? That's maybe something we should discuss another day. Thanks for watching.